I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the cast feed. I'm Rose Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing episode. This is definitely a different production, but she performed as Electra in one of the stage-left children's theater productions of Cats in 2015. So welcome, Lex Miller, and thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
I have always been interested in like the children's version of this, because I know they do Cats Jr. all over the place, and there's like a lot of variations to it, but I now have someone who is an adult that can tell me their experience and not being like me randomly asking a child their experience while they're doing it. So I'm excited to hear about your production from 2015. But before we start there, I want to know, before 2015, did you know anything about Cats? Like, where was Cats in your life?
So the children's theater that I did growing up, stage left, which is where I did Cats, they had done Cats 9 years prior. And I started it 2 years later. So I always say, like, my generation, like girls I'm still friends with to this day, like at this children's theater, their first shows, they started and ended with Cats. So that was the only like touch point I had of the show, which I guess you could revoke my theater kid card at that point. But like, I only knew that like all the older kids, all the big kids had done Cats the musical before. And all of a sudden they had never repeated a show before. And next thing you know, like grumblings were happening, like we're doing Cats. And I'm like, we just did Shrek. Like, why are we now doing Cats? And like, I played one of the Three Little Pigs. I had completely painted my face for that. And I'm like, great, we're going to have to do this like all over again multiple times. And like, that's as much as I knew about Cats going into it.
So it was the lore of like the older kids that did it.
Yeah.
9 years older. And then coming back for round two.
There were only like 3 or 4 people who had been in the original and then had done ours. But like, of course, I was friends with them. So.
Yeah. Did they get to do like the younger kittens the first time and now they're the old cats?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
I mean, sort of. Yeah. They were all baby kittens beforehand, but yeah.
Okay. I'm fascinated. So what does this production, like this theater in general, like I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up acting, performing, so I didn't do Shrek to Cats, all this stuff. Like, is this you do a season and this is where you're doing your different shows, and are they like 6 weeks, or are you doing like a weekend?
Oh, okay. So this place, you had to be enrolled in one of their classes. So classes would start September, they would end in March. And when I first started, so they have one main stage during the year, which is 8 to 18. And when I first started, I think we started rehearsing in November for 3 weekends of performances in May. My following year, we had started in like December for 2 weekends. And then from there on out, you're rehearsing from January to 2 weekends in May, or to put up a show for 2 weekends in May, double cast. If you are like the red cast and the blue cast, if you were in the red cast, you after you hit 6th grade, you could do crew. So everyone working backstage is doing the show, and like vice versa.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you perform and you do the backstage.
Oh yeah. It was
okay.
Yeah. I'm still like I said, I'm still friends with some of these girls today. And when I tell you, like, we army crawled like behind like the heavy side layer, like all that kind of stuff, just like trying to get props to the other side. It was great.
I love it. So you're basically doing 6 performances of the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And each cast did 6.
Yeah, each one. Okay. And you're months rehearsing.
Oh, yeah. Like 10 to 4 every Saturday, sometimes 12 to 5 on Sundays. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now it's 2015. Walk me through the audition process. Like, how do you become Electra?
So they make everyone, they give you like 5 or 6 choices of songs from the show to sing. And I must have, at my gawky 15-year-old self, must have sang McCavity because I said, all right, this sounds fun. Not knowing what it's about. They didn't really do, besides like Grisabella and tapping for Jenny Anydots, they didn't really do character-specific callbacks. So I think they made all of us learn to dance to McCavity. They put us into groups of 3 and just made us do it. I'm pretty sure I remember somebody being like, oh, honey, like when I was doing it, because I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to move like a cat, like all that stuff. And I really only had to do like Macavity and dance a little bit for my callback. And they make you wait for so long for these cast lists. They tell you like the night before Thanksgiving, and then they're closed from Thursday to Monday. And then they can get like, they can speak to the parents. It's very strategic and honestly very smart. But I remember it's funny, one of my best friends to this day was my counterpart, but she had just played Pinocchio. So she had like a huge part and she had been all the kid parts. And I like to say I had a very like steady trajectory there. Like I started from the bottom and ended as like the lead my senior year. Like gradually worked my way up.
Okay.
I was counterparts with Natalie, and she will laugh at this. Like she was royalty. And then here I was like counterparts with her. I'm like, oh shit, I'm good. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, my name is Alexis. Electra sounds a lot like Alexis. Is that why I got this part? So the wheels are just spinning in my brain at this point. And I'm like, I'm either really freaking talented like Natalie, or they just didn't know where to put me. So yeah. But I ended up making it into the Macavity numbers. So I'll say that.
Okay. Now, how many people were in your cast? Like, not because there's red and blue, right?
Yeah.
How many cats were there? Was it like, because I've heard high school productions where it's like we had 50 cats because we had all these extra people in the high school that needed to be in it, but there's only like 30 or so, that are supposed to be there.
Yeah, I want to say there were probably anywhere between 20 and 30 per cast, but maybe a little less.
Normal.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like adding a bunch of cats. Like you weren't making up names.
We weren't making up names, no, but they were splitting a lot of like the singing parts into different roles.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So now, tell me about like this production. Was it a full? Is it the junior production? Was it supposed to be the full production with tweaks? Because obviously you have the range of 8 to 18.
Yeah, it was definitely the full production with tweaks. Like the whole thing, like the polygon dogs and that whole thing, not there.
Okay.
For some reason, we did do the whole Jellicle Ball, I'm pretty sure.
All 11 or 12 minutes straight? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe a little less than that, but it definitely...
Okay.
And I think we really did like the whole show, I'm pretty sure.
The whole thing?
Yeah. Did I understand what was going on? Not a clue, but...
Well, so that was my next question. What did they like tell you in rehearsals? Like how much story do they tell you? Do they tell you any backstory for your character, or is it just purely dance and sing, don't kick each other in the face, and make sure you can get off safe, like stage safely?
Yeah, pretty much.
So no story.
At least not for my role, because I don't think there was anything exciting that needed to be known. But no, there was no crazy backstory.
Did you think about it at all with your cast, or did you just like, no, let's go out there and do it?
Not a clue. But not until like actually speaking with you, there were certain things that I had learned. And I saw it on Broadway twice and still went over my head.
Okay, so just for context, we met at an event, and that's where you told me this, and I answered questions of random cat stuff that you had no idea about, because I've spent way too much time on this topic. And so, okay, so this is 2015, the Broadway revival's a year later.
Yeah.
So you do this, you know nothing about it, you're told nothing, you just do your number. You did Shrek the year before. I don't know what you did. What did you do the year after?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Okay. So.
And then The Little Mermaid, and then I graduated.
Okay. So you got to be Ariel, I'm assuming?
I was Ariel, and I was Wendy the year before.
Okay. So you were Electra.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So who were you in Shrek?
I was one of the Three Little Pigs.
One of the Three Little Pigs. Okay. So yeah, you did work your way.
I really did.
Your way through.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you were 2 years away from being Grisbella.
I know. I probably would have been like, what's her name? Bomb Ballerina or Jenny Any Nuts, but seniors.
Okay, so then you go see it, and you still have no idea what's happening. I'm
like, wow, I was in that number, or that looks cool, or my costume looked like that, or I think my friend played Bustopher Jones as a girl better than this Bustopher Jones.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so did they, like, now that you've seen it on Broadway, do you, like, recognize, like, did they do more... Like Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser by themselves. Were there other people dancing in that number? Were there...
Maybe.
No, so it was pretty true.
Yeah, it was pretty true. I mean, there definitely were. I think it was just the two of them.
How many people were on the Macavity number then?
8 or 9.
Okay, because that's usually just Bomb Ballerina and Demeter.
Yeah, there was like a row of us in the back. Like, and we all came down stage and did it. All the the adult girl cats.
Okay. Do you remember any other changes like that, or is it just
not so
2 weekends in and out of your brain?
Pretty much. I mean, I know like there are a bunch of tappers in Gumby Cat. Like I was one of those. And then Bustopher Jones was my moment. It was Electra, another cat, and Jenny Any Dots. I can't remember what my friend's cat was named, but the three of us split the parts for just Bustopher Jones.
Okay.
As opposed to or I guess it's supposed to be like Demeter, Bob Ballerina, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they gave other people a chance to do that. And then the Gus song, is that 2 people or is it just one person who sings it?
It's usually Joey Lorem starts it and then Gus sings his part.
Okay, so they split Jelly Lorem and I think it was Cassandra who sang the other part. So like there were certain things that like they gave people more opportunities, but we were pretty much on stage the whole time, including intermission.
Okay. Now, so you sat up there with Old Deuteronomy too, and because Old Deuteronomy usually sits on stage during intermission. The cool thing about this children's theater is you got to miss 4 days of school because kids would come on field trips to go see it. So you would do 2 shows, the other cast would do 2 shows, and I had the extreme fortune of sitting on stage during one of the school shows, and people were just coming up and petting me, the whole thing. Yeah, that seems inappropriate.
They were like, I mean,
they're like
little kids.
Okay.
Like kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah. Okay. So the whole school comes to, you miss, that is, all right, this is quite a program.
But then they come up, and then when we actually did this in the middle of the actual shows, like at intermission, and my friends would come up and try to make me not be a cat. But
yeah, try
to
make
stay
you
as a cat.
Yeah, you have to stay in character.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fascinated about it. What is like, I want to do this exercise.
Okay.
Now. What would be your story today for Electra? Like if you go back to 2015, what's Electra's story?
I'm going to say she probably just got thrown in here by one of her friends. Like she definitely was a wannabe.
Okay.
Like with these cool kids. And I was the only gray cat for some reason. Like it was the only, but they put pink on my eyes. And I was like, that's it. I'm cool. Like pink was my favorite color. Again, I'm pretty sure she's me as a cat. But I have to believe she was like, I want to be a cool kid with like a little edge. So like, she definitely was like, I'm here to fit in, but I don't want to stand out too much. But like, I got to have my own little vibe here.
Okay. All right. And they told you none of this?
No.
They didn't tell you any, like, what's like the aha or the thing you want to learn? Like, what's the part you wish you knew now, going back?
That it wasn't just like a cat cabaret.
Yeah, that there's a lot more to it.
Like, I was like, oh, each, like, big cat gets their own song, and we dance, and we're cats.
Yeah. So wholesome. That's the children's version.
Exactly. But it was the full I don't know.
I kind of love that. I mean, I thought a lot about the junior one, because the junior one is where it's usually like 2 performances. It's not even, I've heard about it more. I didn't know it was a thing until recently. And
I didn't know there was a junior version.
Yeah, there's a junior version where they usually do it when they're doing it regionally in another part or just in general. But it's so short. It's very much just like, we're going to teach you some singing and dancing.
Got it.
There's not any of it, because the first time I heard about it, when I got started in this show, I was kind of fascinated, blown away by how dark the story can be depending on how you interpret it. And like, there's some parts that are very clear. Like 2 of the most clear things that are definitive is that Demeter's being abused and Victoria is like basically having her first orgasm on stage. Like those are the 2 things that have been stated by the creative team as like, nobody debates those facts. And to me, that's wild that's like the only, like for sure, without any question, pieces of information that we know for fact.
Yeah, so I didn't know that about Demeter. But the Victoria thing is what we discussed, because I had not a clue.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I definitely was thinking a lot about cats after we spoke about it, because I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I was fascinated because I remember when we were chatting, it was like, oh, I did it. And then you said in a children's production, and I was like, wait a second, I have so many questions. I've been wanting to ask somebody for so long about like, what does that look like from a production standpoint, because of how oppressive it can be. And the fact that I always joke that I don't think kids, I've softened on this. I didn't think kids should come see this at all. But now I think, like, to your point, the kids that don't really get it, that are just cats, like they're cats, go dance and sing, should come. But there's this like teenage range where it's like, no, this they're going to get some of this. Although you were, how old? You were 15? You maybe didn't catch it all?
Yeah,
so.
I think if I had any prior knowledge of the show going into it, maybe it was the way it was staged, maybe it was whatever we were doing, that it just completely went over my head. But again, maybe if I was playing one of those roles, they would have like explained it to us. But I'm pretty sure we had a middle schooler playing Victoria.
Yeah. Well, and
she might have been in sixth grade.
Yeah, they're supposed to be younger. Like, that's supposed to be a younger character when you're casting, especially when you have that range. You're probably going to pick younger for that particular role. And you didn't watch the 1998 movie like a lot of people growing up, where it was like they were obsessed with it. So you didn't have that constant exposure to the source material.
No, my musical journey started with all the Disney stuff. It was not so much that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, you got to do some, at least.
Exactly.
And then you got to throw Cats right in the middle of it.
You know what? We love her anyway.
What's the whole history of your years there? When did you, what was all those shows in order that you did?
Okay, so I started in 4th grade. It was Beauty and the Beast. Then A Year with Frog and Toad, which, my favorite show ever. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Oliver. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Shrek. Cats, Peter Pan, Little Mermaid.
Cats is a wild decision in that list.
Yeah. And then they went on and did Matilda and Charlie Brown and Seussical again after that.
Again, still a wild decision.
Mm-hmm. They're doing The Wizard of Oz right now.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. What memories do you have from doing it? Like, were there any standout moments or, like, comical pieces that you'll never forget?
Yes. I remember the choreographer throwing one of my friends off of stage because she didn't remember the choreographer. He was like, "Go sit in the back of the house."
During the performance?
No. During rehearsal.
Okay, during rehearsal.
Yeah. I remember when we were learning the naming of cats, they didn't tell us in advance that we were going to be sitting on our knees for hours. So we all had bruises. And then my favorite memory. So you always circle up before the shows and you do the pre-show rituals, but the second week of shows, you start one by one saying goodbye to the seniors. So this was my first group of friends starting to leave. So I had two very, very close friends. I guess I guess it was the closing performance or whatever it was. We're in this circle and like, I didn't even cry for my own senior speech. Like, here I am, full Cats makeup, full Cats wig. My face is completely white and my eye makeup is black and pink. I started hysterically crying. I was crying for a good 45 minutes while my two best friends were giving their speeches. There are pictures of me with Cats mascara down my face. They had to completely wipe off and redo it with 10 minutes before the curtain. But yeah, that's one of my favorite memories. Anytime anyone says, "Did you do Cats?" I show them the picture of me with Cats makeup crying down my face.
We're gonna need to post that with this episode.
You totally can.
Okay. That's fun. Did you have any you're doing this in such a quick thing where it was somebody really was out of place and any kind of those crazy moments on stage during the performance?
Not so much during the performance that I can think of. I really just, when I was an intermission cat, I had some kid, a really adorable, probably kindergartner girl. She's like, "You're my favorite cat. You're so pretty. Just you're pink. I like pink," all this stuff. I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer this.
This is how you're a model for the future generation. It's you're helping the future performers.
Yeah.
That's how you get them. That's how you get them in.
You really do.
And 9 years later, they're going to do, they're actually missing. It should have, Cats will be what? Should have been last year.
Yeah.
But maybe it's,
Yeah, that would be,
back.
Can you imagine? That would be crazy. I'd have to go see it. They had a bunch of the original, people who were in it come back and see it, I'm pretty sure, because they loved it. Everyone just loved being in it. It was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. What was your family's perspective of you're doing all these different shows? They know you're part of this thing, but it's all right, we're in Cats this year. Did they know all the stuff? Is this
my mom definitely did. Both my grandmas are musical people, just loved musicals, the whole thing. My mom definitely knew it. My grandparents did. I don't really know if my dad had any I don't know if he saw it, if I'm being totally honest, but my sister was like, "Why are you in a unitard?"
Yeah.
Why is your face painted? All this stuff. But that's really, I don't really remember much, but it was just this is an interesting choice.
Did you have any friends not from the theater world come see it?
Oh, yeah.
And what was their reaction to
Good
it being
job.
cats?
Yay.
Okay.
Just
supportive and
yeah, I was very lucky.
glossing over, yeah.
I had a group of girls who probably came to all 9 of my shows, and it was really great. But like, that was one. It was like probably could have missed it, but also like, what did I just watch?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and clearly you didn't even have the full context of it at that point.
I mean, we came out after the show in our cats outfits,
Just full on. Yeah,
taking pictures.
Yeah, why not? It's
Why
like
not?
a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, what questions, now that you've thought about this more, since we chatted, like I clearly ruined your evening from that night, what other questions do you have about cats? Like, what did you not get an answer to that now that you've seen the Broadway version, like the revival, that you're like, I kind of wish I want to know more about that.
Like, what are the points of some of the cat? Like, I get like Gus is kind of there looking over everybody, or like, what is Buster Jones doing there? Like, what are these people just like doing there?
I mean, it's a family. It's kind of like a group of cats. It kind of feels cultish.
Okay.
They come together for their one ritual annually, and it's supposed to be a parading of like, here's them making their case for why should be the choice for the Heaviside layer. But not everyone really is kind of like really truly into that, and so there is some kind of things of like, maybe they're just there, they want to kind of do it, or Tugger really just wants to kind of cause chaos in the scene. Mistopheles comes to save the day. Buster Jones, like, I added to what I think the story is, because there's in the lyrics it talks about gentlemen's clubs, and I think in London that's a different word than in the US. And so I didn't really pick up on that, so I was like, he's a really rich fat cat who's financing McCavity's Cry. But that's, I think, my addition. I don't think that's actually like what they tell the cast.
Interesting. Then also, like, Skimbleshanks is in a train.
Yeah, he keeps the train on time.
I want it to be Skimbleshanks, but because
that's a fun number.
Yeah, that's why. Because they had girls play it the first time they did it, and then they cast boys the second go around, and I was kind of sad.
Yeah, do they have to just basically go on how many like who auditions, like how many performances they have? Yeah. So you could have had any. I mean, you're cats at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what gender.
Yeah. I mean, Buster Jones, we had 2 girls playing Buster Jones. Guys is Tugger. I'm trying to think if anything else was. I think that year we actually kept it pretty, like, close to what the originals were.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we had a girl playing Shrek. We had a girl playing Fagin and Oliver. Same one, actually. But then she went and played Grisabella.
Yeah.
She has range.
Yeah. The Shrek to Grisabella.
Mm-hmm. Literally in
range.
1 year.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's do some rapid fire. I'm curious if you're even going to be able to do this, because it's all cast related. But
all right.
If you could go on for any one night today, who would you want to go on as?
Either Rumpelteazer or Skimbleshanks.
Okay. I love it. Who are your favorite and least favorite cats from a personality standpoint, which might be hard to answer if you don't know the personality. So ignore your friends who did it. Like, let's not throw an individual under the bus.
Okay.
But I can help give some examples for cats if you're not sure about their personalities.
I feel like my favorite might have to be Jenny Anydots, because she's kind of just like hee hee hee, and then just like show number, and then just like she's really there for the plot. She's really there to make her case. Now that you say that, least favorite. I have so many memories flooding through my head right now that I probably shouldn't say. Probably Tugger. He just seems like
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite song in the show?
Skimbleshanks, or I do love McCavity.
Yeah, I think those are 2 of my favorites too. Since this is a children's production, which character or cat do you think would be the best at directing it for a children's production?
I'm gonna say Gus. He's been around a while, loves the theater, and just feels wise.
I like him. I was thinking Gus and Jenny Anydots, because Jenny is
definitely
motherly.
Forgot about that part of it, but yes.
Okay. This whole podcast centers around the fact that I don't think Grisabella is the right Jokel choice. I'm assuming your production did not make a change there and still sent her to the Heaviside layer. But I want to know, you, Lex, who is your Jokel choice and why?
I think I'm going to have to go with Gus again, just because it's the natural order of things. Like, he's old. It's his time.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue. That's my argument. I agree.
Yeah. I'm like,
Did you
everyone else
discuss this at all?
No, I was trying to think about it. And then
Who was your Gus?
Who
Do you
was
remember?
my Gus? Same guy who played Deuteronomy.
Okay. I wanted to know what they played in Shrek and the other stuff. Like, I want to know what the trajectory for Gus was in your stuff, if you remember.
One of them was okay, I remember this now. It's coming back to me. It was the same person who played both. We had one kid who was 2 years younger than me, and it was one guy who was a year older than me.
Okay.
Kevin was Gus in Old Deuteronomy. He's the one that was older than me. In Shrek, I remember he was like Papa Ogre. He was the knight. He was kind of just like the funny guy.
Yeah, like a bunch of characters. Okay.
And then Liam was Papa Bear in Shrek. Okay. I don't know why I remember this, and my friends are going to make fun of me for remembering these things.
I mean, these are types of things that sometimes don't leave your brain.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what makes it fun and memorable. And that's why, honestly, we were able to do this, because I remember when we were talking, I was like, should we even do a full like, do you remember enough of it? And you're like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. And like, again, I just remember we were like, there was a whole thing, a shoe was supposed to fall and some kid couldn't run across the stage and like do the bit in time. And we were like, stupid child. Like, it was 7.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure every parent had no idea unless that was like the one moment they were supposed to see their child.
Exactly.
So I'm fascinated by the whole thing, the decision, the choice to do it, how they did it, what they decided to tell you and not tell you. It's wild to me. But I mean, again, it's transformative. It's part of your upbringing and life and the memories that come with it. Yeah,
it's always a fun talking point. Just being like, yeah, I did the show, and they're like,
yeah, where,
when, how,
yeah,
as what?
It's great though.
Yeah,
I mean, just think, if you weren't Electra, you might not have been able to be Ariel and Wendy.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Like, you had to crawl around that stage.
I really did. And I intermission catted for that.
And you had to sit there for 15 minutes while your parents used the restroom and got another drink.
Yeah.
And the kindergartners came up to say hi.
Yeah, there was one, I remember there were like times where we were like, can we just fake being asleep? Because they had like life-size like tubes, the cat tubes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I faked being asleep for an entire intermission just so nobody would come talk to
Someone would bug you.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't give you a break. Like, because it's coming out right after the Jelka Ball, which is an extremely difficult dance number.
And then what starts?
Usually,
it's Old Deuteronomy, right?
Usually it's moments of happiness and then Gus.
Yeah, so we would crawl off stage after that and then
so you
crawl back on. So like we would get to, it would kind of just like everyone would come on and we would switch there. But I remember like our gloves that we had on our hands were they were like wool or whatever. We would stand in front of the AC like this and take them off and just like air dry them afterwards.
What time of year did you say this was?
May.
Okay. So you're kind of like in the peak of warm weather, kind of back, and little humidity, and it's not like you're doing this in the winter.
No.
On the East Coast.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Craziness.
So crazy.
Well, this has been so fun. How can people stay in touch with you and hear more of your fun?
Yeah. I'm on all socials at Lex Miller. We love a full name like that. Everyone who I did children's theater with still calls me Lex Miller. So everything there.
Amazing.
Yay.
Well, this was so fun. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story. And we will for sure get that picture to add to the social media post with this.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yay.
Well, thank you. And thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cut Time, the podcast break with the cast. Actually, following, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media at The Wrong Cut Time, or check out our website, thewrongcutdime.com.